The government announced a $1.2 billion domestic tourism support package this week. There was also talk with the vaccine rollout underway of the possibility of overseas travel by the end of the year.
And some exciting new initiatives celebrating women's achievements off the back of International Women's Day earlier in the week. We are joined now, and it's a real treat to have Claire Hanney, Head of Travel Experiences for Insight Vacations and Luxury Gold from London. I just love the sound of that title, Claire. And look, I think we're all feeling a little aspirational as I welcome you to the show, and people can start to really dream with a sense of optimism.
I can't tell you how excited I was to hear the news that Australians would be back with us in Europe and across the globe shortly, but hopefully by the end of this year. I know that my mother living in Australia can't wait to come and see the world, and I really think that Australians have got a lot of pent-up desire to be able to do what they normally do, which is travel the world regularly.
And so much appreciation as well. And certainly we were just talking in the break that people won't be taking it for granted as perhaps as much as we used to. But this year's International Women's Day, the theme being Choose to Challenge, Insight Vacations calls for gender bias and inequality. Can you tell us what initiatives are included?
Yeah, so this year we really had a look at how we operate our trips, and in particular we decided that we would launch a new trip in Croatia. It's Venice and the Croatian coast, and it's a trip designed entirely by women, entirely for women. And we look through the region at how we can empower the women of the region who are doing amazing things in their communities to be able to really come to the forefront. And by telling their stories and by introducing our guests to the amazing people along the Croatian coast, they can not only travel, but they can give back to the communities in which they're travelling through and have a unique experience that they wouldn't get any other way. So this particular journey it just combines the absolute best. It's the most beautiful region. Australians love travelling to Croatia, but I think that Australians are now looking for something that goes a little bit beyond what I would call ordinary travel. They don't just want a city tour, they want to experience more. So it's really exciting that we're able to offer this journey. It's a 13-day journey for Insight Vacations guests in 2022.
What a great initiative. And the most selfless people are women, and I think about my life and my late mother, and she had 6 children and what she did. Now, she wasn't a great traveller, but I just look at my wife and our 3 kids and what goes into being a mother, and that's only one part of the world. The selfless nature of women means that these things are so important. These types of trips and what you're catering for, so important.
Absolutely. And in the footage that you can see there's Celine Cousteau. She's an ambassador for the Tread Right Foundation, and she'll be actually joining this particular trip to meet our fantastic travellers. She's just so inspirational as a person. She's the kind of, she travels the planet finding stories that need to be told, and the voices that wouldn't have a platform to be able to tell their stories unless she was a part of that. And she uses her films to be able to give a platform for people who need the support. And she's really excited to be joining this particular trip so that she can meet the incredible people that we've found to make travel matter and make travel a force for good. And I mean, I want to join this trip just so that I can meet her. In fact, I called the Director of Operations at Insight Vacations today and just said, can I apply for one of our new Wellbeing Director roles, which is a role that we've created to be on all our trips in the future so that they can make sure that all of the proper wellbeing protocols are being followed. And that'll be on every trip we've got from when we start operating again. So I've applied for the role, take a step back and be a wellbeing director to try to get a place on this trip, because I think that's the only way I'll get on it.
Let us know if you want a reference. Let us know if you want a reference.
Or if you need a couple of people to come along with you. But in fact, your dream job was in fact, meant to be travelling the globe and reviewing hotels and restaurants experiences, but unfortunately it coincided with lockdown. So yes, hopefully you will get that job. But how have you seen the industry cope from your point of view?
Look, if if I'm completely honest, I've never been more impressed with the travel industry than I have in the past 12 months. Particularly at Insight, we've really banded together to make sure that when our guests can travel again, they will have the best possible experiences known to man. We have not rested on our laurels for a second. We've pulled apart everything that we do on the back end to make sure that our guests have the most seamless experience possible, and that our experiences that they have while they're travelling with us really are a force for good. And we've now got Make Travel Matter experiences, we call them, which are experiences that help the people, planet and wildlife to be better than ever, in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we've got those on over 50% of our trips, and we've been looking for even more than that in the future. So I think that the way that we've handled it in the industry is to really make sure that we're using the time to look to the future and make sure that what we're delivering for our guests is the best possible travel experience. So I really think that the travel industry will come back beautifully strongly, not least because Australians will be first on planes as soon as they can travel again. And we can't wait to welcome you.
Now, you're in London. Very quickly, Claire, Boris Johnson, it was pretty botched at the start of the pandemic. Of course, he was shaking people's hands. He almost died himself. But over the past few weeks, we've seen the vaccine roll out quickly and some green sprouts are starting to appear. Can you feel that sense of optimism now in the UK?
Absolutely. There's with the spring that's sprung here, there's a renewed sense of excitement. The people are planning for things over their summer, and by things I mean just planning to see their grandparents. It's not like they're planning anything huge at this stage, but they certainly are looking that they will be able to travel again over the summer. So I'm expecting to be able to head to Belgium to see my brother, for example, over the summer, and I think that that's a normal consideration here. So I do think that the vaccine's being rolled out very, very quickly. I'm in the next age group to be vaccinated, so wow. I'm very excited about that, and that will be happening imminently. So we will all be vaccinated very shortly, and I expect that will mean that there's a lot fewer restrictions on our travel over the next couple of months.
Well, it certainly sounds that way. Thank you so much, Claire Hanney, Head of Travel Experiences. An Aussie in the UK in lockdown. Have a great evening, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.